Shana Tova Umituka, a good and sweet new year. I am Rabbi Michael Fell.
And I'm Shana Fell.
I cannot believe that just a little over a week ago, we were sitting on this couch celebrating Rosh Hashanah.
We sure were. We were here with all of you, and we were talking about eating apples and honey, and we were learning about blowing the shofar together, and it was so fun. It was great.
And this morning is Yom Kippur.
It sure is. And do you know that people all over the world today are observing Yom Kippur just like you and me?
They're in New York.
And maybe in Israel.
And in Argentina.
And there's a lot to learn about Yom Kippur because it's a little bit different than Rosh Hashanah.
On Rosh Hashanah, we're celebrating the birthday of the world, and we're so excited. You might remember last week we put on party hats. But on Yom Kippur, the feeling is a little bit different. It's a little bit more serious because we're really thinking more and more about the times when we made mistakes and trying to figure out how we can be better in the new year. And that's hard work, but we're going to do it together today.
Such hard work, but we can do it. I know that. And you're going to notice some different things today, I bet, about what makes Yom Kippur a little different and a little bit special. For instance, you might notice that the grown-ups in your house maybe aren't eating their regular foods and maybe aren't drinking their regular drinks. Like, I know that I am not drinking coffee on Yom Kippur, and that for me is super hard. So you might want to be super kind and patient with your grown-ups today.
I think that's called fasting. So lots of grown-ups do something called fasting so they can really focus on being their best selves today.
You might notice that some of us are wearing clothes that are the same as last week, and some of us are wearing something a little different than last week. Last week I wore a dress that I just happened to like. And this day, on Yom Kippur, I'm wearing white.
Why do you do that?
I'm wearing white because on Yom Kippur, we're working really hard to start the year fresh, to let go and apologize for all the mistakes that we've made. And so one way we do that is by dressing in white, because that is a symbol. It symbolizes, a symbol is something that stands for something else. It symbolizes being fresh and clean and new for the new year.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
And you know what else I think would make it look nicer? Our background. Maybe we should make it special for Yom Kippur.
Oh, what should we do?
I don't know. Watch this. Ready?
Yep.
Is that better?
What do you guys think? Better? Give us a thumbs up if you think it's better.
That seems much better for Yom Kippur.
Awesome. Well, I'm so happy you're here because we're going to have a really fun morning. It might be a little different in terms of some of the tunes that we use, some of the things that we talk about, but some of it will still be really familiar, like our fun songs, a great story, and moving our bodies.
And we'll start right now with something that's kind of familiar. We'll start with our stretches.
Oh, I can't wait.
So we're going to do it from our seats this time. So I'll invite everyone, instead of standing up, we're going to try to sit in our seats, and we're going to try to, you can wiggle your hips a little bit and get right into your chair. And I want you to imagine that there is a little string connecting the top of your head all the way to the sky.
Whoa.
So if you want to try to sit up a little bit more straight.
Oh, is it being pulled? Am I being pulled up to the sky?
That's what it feels like.
Wow, cool.
And then if you want to, you can take your hands and you can put them on your lap.
Nice.
And then I'll invite you just to take a deep breath in through your nose if you can, and then out through your mouth. Ready? Then one more. And that sometimes helps us feel a little more focused
Oh, I like that.
on what's about to happen. And so that we've stretched our bodies a little bit, and now that we feel like our bodies are ready for prayer, I think next thing we're going to do is we're going to warm up our voices. How does that sound?
I think that sounds great.
So we're going to sing one of my favorite songs, and hopefully it's one of your favorites too. We're going to sing Hine Matov, but instead of singing it really, really fast, we're going to sing it a little bit slower this time.
I like that.
And I hope you can join us.
Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. You know what? I like to do things twice sometimes. I like to sing them again. So what I'm going to suggest is everyone get into their comfy spot, and sometimes it's nice to sway, to go like this. Even if you're sitting with somebody, you can even put their arm around them Because what does Hine Matov mean?
It means how wonderful it is. How nice is it for all of us to be together? And it is nice for all of us to be together.
So as we sing it one more time in this quiet way, you can sway your body and you can think about how nice and how special it is that we can all be together today. Okay, ready? Hine
Matovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim, shevet achim gam yachad.
I really feel like my body is warmed up and my voice is warmed up and my heart is warmed up and ready.
That sounds good. You know what else is going to help you feel ready for the rest of the service?
What?
Thinking about all the things for which you're grateful.
I love that idea.
So I know I'm grateful for having a wonderful place to live.
Yes, and I'm grateful for you and for our family and our friends. What are you thankful for? Why don't you take just a second and talk to the grown-up who's with you, or if you have a friend sitting next to you or a sibling, you could talk to them. And just for a second, think about something that makes you feel grateful today.
We hope you had a chance to think about all the things that make you feel so good each and every morning. And now we can sing about it with Modeh Ani.
Yes, let's do it. So there's Hebrew and there's English, and it's all again to that tune of
You Are My Sunshine.
You Are My Sunshine. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
Modeh Ani lefanecha, melech chai v'kayam, shehechezarta v'nishmati, v'chemla raba emunatecha. Oh, every morning when I'm done sleeping, I open up my eyes and say, thank you, God, for my neshama and for giving me a brand new day.
Let's do it in Hebrew one more time.
Modeh ani lefanecha, melech chai kayam, shehechezarta v'nishmati, now
it's time for us to move on to the Shema. And what we're going to do is we're going to learn some hand motions, and you might be familiar with them, but you might not be. So let's do them together. And if you make mistakes, don't worry about it. I do it all the time. So here is the way we're going to do it. We're going to get our bodies ready, and we're going to put our hands up to our ears when we say the word Shema, because Shema is about listening. So we're going to say Shema, and then we say Yisrael. We're going to make our hands into a little book, because Israel, the Jewish people, are the people of the book. So Shema Yisrael. Then we're going to say Adonai. It's everywhere. Eloheinu in our hearts.
Our God, yeah.
Our God is in our hearts. Adonai. Again, God is everywhere. And then Echad is one. So let's just do it one more time, and then we're going to sing it together and do it together. You ready? Shema Yisrael. Adonai Eloheinu. Adonai Echad. Okay, so now we're going to sing it. It might be an unfamiliar tune, but we do it a few times. And then after that, we're going to go right into the V'ahavta. Are you ready?
I am ready and pumped.
Okay, let's do it.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Baruch Shem Kavod,
Malchuto
Leolam Va'ed.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. As we talked about, today is Yom Kippur, where we practice saying I'm sorry to our friends and family, because we all made mistakes in the previous year. And Yom Kippur is when we get to practice saying that important phrase, we're sorry.
And just like with anything that's really hard to do, the more you practice, the better you get at it. Like if you want to be a really excellent swimmer, you have to practice. If you want to be really good at playing piano, you have to practice. If you want to be really good at saying I'm sorry for things that you might have done or things that you might have times you might have upset people, you have to practice. Grown-ups practice today all over the world. And so what that might look like for a grown-up is this.
They take their hand and they put it over their heart and they sing. They say, ay 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 da 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 Ashamnu Bagadnu Gazalnu Dibarnu Dofi ay 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 da 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 da.
And what that is that's Hebrew, but it's the same thing as if you were saying, I didn't clean up my room, or I might have lied about something. Those are all things that grown-ups and kids might do. And so when you see a grown-up doing that today, that's exactly what they're doing, because they are practicing a super hard skill. But you know what else makes Yom Kippur special? It's not just about the mistakes that we've made.
True.
It's also thinking about the good, all the nice things, and the super special talents that we have that we can bring into the world.
And so one of the things we can also focus on is that each of us has a super skill or a super talent that makes us different and special. So why don't you talk with your grown-up for a moment and think about what is one thing that makes you super special, or something that you are really good at. Take a moment to talk about that.
I hope that was a really great conversation that you just had with your grown-ups. Now, even though it's sort of a serious day, when you're a little kid like you guys, it's okay to be silly and have fun still. So we're gonna get ready for our Torah March.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So
and for this, we should get up, yeah?
We're gonna get up. We're gonna move our bodies, and we might even travel all over the world.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe. Hey, Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe. Hey, Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe. Hey, Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe. Woo!
That was good.
Yeah.
I liked that. I like to move my body. Now we're going to get cozy and sit down, and we're going to read a story together. And it's a story called Super Bad
Bum-ba-da-bum.
by Matt Carr. And I hope you're going to like it. I think you will. So sit tight and let's read this together.
It was the middle of the day, and Pat the Bat could not sleep. He was bored of hanging around in a dark cave. He wanted to be special, like the superheroes of his favorite comics. And then it hit him. Pow! Pat had a great idea and set to work. It was not easy using Mom's sewing machine, and his wings kept on getting in the way. But after a couple of hours, his outfit was ready. Pat became Super Bat! When the other bats woke up, they were all surprised. I'm Super Bat, said Pat. Wow, said Gary. So what are your superpowers? I have super hearing, boasted Pat. So do we, his friend screeched. Good point, muttered Pat. All the other bats gathered around to see Super Bat. Can you lift a car with your mighty muscles? Asked Gary. Or shoot laser beams from your eyes? Added Glenda. Well, no, said Pat, his voice wobbling a bit. But I can fly. He leapt into the air. We can all fly, the other bats chuckled. What else can you do? Pat tried to think of another super skill. He felt like every bat in town was staring at him. He was very nervous. I have echolocation, which means I can find my way in the dark. Ha, 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 the bats all laughed. That's nothing special. We can all do that. Pat trudged off home. His wings drooped, his ears flopped. He did not feel special anymore. I'm just a normal bat in a silly outfit, he sighed, trying not to cry. Just as Pat was about to rip off his suit and cape and throw them away, his supersonic hearing picked up a faint cry. Help! On the other side of town, a big bad cat had trapped a family of mice. Pat's wings spread out, his ears perked up. He bravely flew across the city as fast as his little wings would carry him. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? I think it's a bat in a funny little costume. Pat swooped in like a blur of fur. The big bad cat took a swat, but he missed Super Bat. Pat dived back down again and flapped his wings really fast, wham, and scared the mean cat away. The mice were free. You saved us, they cried. Thank you. But who are you, oh masked crusader, my hero? Pat smiled modestly. Me? I'm no one special. Oh, yes, you are, cried his bat friends who had followed Pat across downtown and seen his heroics. And you do have a superpower. Courage. You truly are a super bat. And as Pat flew back to the bat cave for a good day's sleep, with his friends behind him all the way, he really did feel rather special. The end.
Now that we finished our story, we're going to sing the Misha Berach prayer, which is a prayer about wishing everybody in the world who's not feeling their very best to feel better soon. That's also a super skill, because we have to remember to think about those people in our lives who might not be feeling their best today.
El narifana la 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 rifana la. El narifana la 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 la. Put your yuckies in a blanket and roll them up tight. Put the blanket in a rocket and send it out of sight. Bye-bye, yuckies, go away. Don't come back any other day. Bye-bye, yuckies, go away. Don't come back any other day. And if you come back, I'll send you away again.
Well, friends, we did a lot today. We learned all about Yom Kippur and things like how we dress differently, how grown-ups might eat and drink differently today. We talked about the prayers that we say around saying I'm sorry. And we also learned about how Yom Kippur is also about thinking about what makes us super special and all the good that we can bring into the world.
Now, we might look like ordinary people. You might look like an ordinary person, but deep down, we are all superheroes.
Bum, ba, bum, bum, bum.
And if you look in the bag that you received from the synagogue, you will find a mask as well. And it's really helpful to think that we can all be like superheroes, bringing goodness into the world, bringing kindness into the world. And we all have the super skill of being able to say, I'm sorry. And so when you make a mistake in the new year, when you don't always do your best, you should just tell the person who maybe feels sad or disappointed and just say, I'm sorry, I didn't do my best, and I promise to try harder the next time. That's all anybody could ever ask.
I love that. And I love these superhero masks. I hope you like them as much as we do.
You know what I think we should do?
What?
I'm going to tell you to put your hand up,
Boop.
and we're going to blast off into the sky and then go soaring across the world.
And say,
Shana Tova!
Shana Tova!
Bye, everybody!